Hello everyone, welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. If you are new to the channel and like detailed weather breakdowns throughout this year, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and the like button down below. It definitely helps out more than you know. So let's look here at our equatorial Pacific Ocean here at our sea surface temperature anomalies. And we did touch on this yesterday, but just wanted to take you back to show you that El Nino is actually weakening and collapsing across this region. Our subsurface temperatures are cold underneath the surface of the ocean, and those subsurface temperatures that are cooler are actually making its way toward the surface of the ocean, turning these anomalies below normal and trending us toward ENSO neutral conditions. Now looking here at the latest Nino index here as a plus 0.960, and we are officially in a weak El Nino. And we continue to drop towards an ENSO neutral pattern as we get towards especially April and that May timeframe. So how does it affect our weather here moving forward? Here's the surface map through the day, and we have a warm frontal boundary that will be moving further north across the Midwest and into the Central Plains. And why this is important today is more spring-like temperatures across the country south of that boundary. So if you're south of that warm front across the Central and Southern Plains through the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, much of the Southeast, temperatures will easily achieve the 70s, if not the 80s this afternoon. And not only that, but even into Thursday, tomorrow, that warm frontal boundary will be keeping focus of those spring-like temperatures south of it. So more 70s and 80s to go around. But a cold front will enter the picture across the plain states on Thursday. That will be our cooling trend as we go toward late week. And there's that cold front traversing from west to east across the central and eastern U.S. by Friday the 15th. And then you can see behind that our 70s that we see today and on Thursday, south of that warm front will turn to 50s and 60s by the time we get to that Friday, March 15th timeframe. Now we are monitoring a weather situation with a new storm system moving in mid to late week here. We have a nice trough, a positively tilted trough moving across portions of the Intermountain West, and the mouth of that trough is across the central and southern plains and on up here toward the mid-Missouri Valley. And why that's important is because on the mouth of these troughs this time of year, we have to keep an eye on severe weather potential. We do have a slight risk of severe weather across southeastern Nebraska, northeast Kansas, far southwestern Iowa, and into Missouri here, especially north central Missouri, with that level 2 out of 5, a slight risk, but a marginal risk extending further south here along the dry line and cold front down into portions of eastern Oklahoma and far north Texas. And looking at that slight risk area in and around the Kansas City vicinity, we could be seeing those 2-inch or larger type of hailstones. That's why we have those hatched marks here, and the potential for some rotating supercells that could produce some tornadoes up near the Kansas City region, with a 5% shading of tornadoes, and also seeing that 2% shading down into eastern Oklahoma and far north Texas today. So let's walk you through the timing of the storms and when you can expect them through the day. Going through the morning, it is A-OK across this region. We're seeing warm air advection, which essentially means warmer air being pulled north from the Gulf of Mexico and the southern United States this morning. Dry conditions prevail. Going into the afternoon, watching for some lift moving in with the low pressure system into portions of Nebraska. That could result in some showers, a few isolated thunderstorms near the surface low track. But I think it's as we get into the evening hours, okay, around the dinner time frame, early mid-evening here, we have around 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram of instability. This is your convective available potential energy, and that is coupled with a pretty stout low-level jet across this region as well. That is around 40 to 50 knots or so this evening, and that will be area to watch for some severe weather in and around the Kansas City vicinity this evening. These storms could be explosively producing some large to very large hail, 2 inches or larger in diameter, some tornado potential, and some damaging winds over 60 miles per hour. We'll be watching that there across southeastern Nebraska into northeast Kansas. and into north central portions there of Missouri. As we go into early Thursday morning, this is after midnight, we're going to see thunderstorms in rounds moving from west to east across the same areas here. This could heighten the flash flooding risk across Iowa, northern Missouri, and into northern Illinois. That means that a lot of these thunderstorms moving across that region will reinforce that warm frontal boundary further to the south as we go into Thursday morning. And actually, Thursday looks to be the day for more significant severe weather going into through the next couple of days. So we have a large slight risk in yellow here from the Midwest and the Illinois Valley, southeastern Iowa, through Missouri, getting down through Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, northeast Texas, and extreme northwest Louisiana. That's a level 2 out of 5 on the scale, but a small enhanced risk, a level 3 out of 5 across far southern Missouri, western portions of Arkansas, and southeastern Oklahoma. That's a level 3 out of 5 there, and that does mean this area is primed for some more significant hail. These hatched marks all the way up here into the Midwest, the Missouri Valley, down into the southern plains, especially within that enhanced risk area, could be seeing those 2-inch or larger type of hailstones there as well, and a large area of at least a 2% shading of tornadoes in the green, extending from the Ohio River Valley back through the Midwest, down here into the southern plains, and even a 5% shading there in that enhanced risk area across western Arkansas, southeastern Oklahoma, and far northeast Texas for Thursday. Looking at the setup for Thursday morning, ongoing showers and thunderstorms across the Midwest, the Ohio Valley. These could be some flash flooding producers. Lots of efficient rainfall rates from these storms. Lots of lightning here with a lot of the instability hanging around through the morning. These storms could also produce some hail, so don't be shocked if you see some smaller hail waking up and heading out for your Thursday morning commute. But I think it's the afternoon hours we really start to cook the atmosphere here, around 2,000, 3,000 joules per kilogram of energy here, and instability across portions of Missouri, southern Illinois, back here into the southern plains and the lower Mississippi Valley, coupled with a decent low-level jet here, not as strong as today, but a decent low-level jet for some rotating thunderstorms and explosive thunderstorm development within that enhanced risk area will be likely Thursday afternoon into eastern Oklahoma, southwestern Missouri into northwestern and western Arkansas there. These storms could initially be producing some very large hail, over 2 inches in diameter, some 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts, and even a few tornadoes with them. Then they will grow upscale overnight into the nighttime hours, the evening hours on Thursday as they push eastward, more likely producing damaging winds and hail through that time frame, and also the heavy rainfall threat. We are continuing to watch, though, the southern flank of this Thursday evening down toward Texarkana or the Fort Smith area, Little Rock, for potentially some tornado genesis with these storms during that time frame. Then as we go into Friday, the severe weather doesn't stop here. We have another marginal risk down here, East Texas, Louisiana, getting into Mississippi, Alabama, and extreme western Georgia here. This is a lower end threat, a 1 out of 5 on the scale, and you can see those thunderstorms lighting up across portions of Dixie Alley and the Gulf Coast states there on Friday. Overall, with this system, now through Friday, the 15th of March, a couple areas of concern for some very heavy rain. The first area here, especially going into the Wednesday night, Thursday morning time frame across the Midwest from Nebraska through Iowa, northern Missouri, northern Illinois, and southern Wisconsin. That will stretch over here into northern Indiana, northern Ohio, into Michigan. And then the southern area, more widespread, very heavy rain across portions of the mid and lower Mississippi Valley down toward the Gulf Coast here. These areas could be seeing a couple inches of rain in a short amount of time. So the flash flooding potential today into your Thursday morning will be a marginal risk across portions there in Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, into Kansas, and then more of that slight risk down here across portions of, say, the Little Rock region, Memphis, down toward portions of Shreveport, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Thursday into Friday time frame. Looking at the cold side of the system, yes, it's still March, and yes, we can still see some snowfall, and mainly across the Rockies. So the Colorado Rockies right outside the Denver area there, very heavy snows up there in the higher elevations. Over a foot of snow will be possible through the Friday time frame. And then as we go into the weekend, this is on Saturday, March 16th, look at the trough starting to develop here across southeastern Canada and the upper Midwest, Why this is important is as we go into Sunday, that will strengthen, that will shift further to the south here, and it's kind of more of a what goes up must come down situation because we have a ridge of high pressure across western Canada here up toward Alaska that is moving upward with the jet stream, and then the jet stream has to dip down again across the eastern U.S., pulling down a lot of that colder air as we go into Sunday. Monday time frame really strengthening that cold air advection here across the Ohio River Valley and the Northeast, and that will continue even into Tuesday and likely even beyond Tuesday into next week. So looking at those temperatures, what they could look like, here's Saturday's highs on the 16th. Not too shabby. Highs across the Ohio Valley, the Midwest here, the lower Midwest in particular, into the 50s and some 60s out there. Here comes that colder air. Yes, these are highs for Sunday, below freezing across the upper Midwest. We could only achieve potentially the middle and upper 20s for areas like Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Fargo area, and up there toward Rhinelander, Wisconsin there on Sunday. Then as we go into Monday, you can see that colder air around freezing there across the Great Lakes region here, especially for Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and into southeastern Canada. And then highs on Tuesday into the 30s there again for the eastern Great Lakes and interior New England. And we start to see return flow on the backside across the southern and central plains. Temperatures there will be back into the 60s and 70s on the backside of that trough on Tuesday. Then as we go through the third week there into March, into the fourth week time frame, the 20th through the 26th, still likely seeing normal to below normal temperatures, really favored across the eastern U.S. That ridge out west will trend more towards warmer temperatures, at least slightly so across the western United States here as we go through that time frame, and also very active across the lower 48. So not only are we seeing more of an erratic temperature roller coaster going into late March, but more active weather to prevail with above normal precipitation for almost all of us in the United States. And you can see a couple areas of concern for heavy rain during that 20th through the 26th of March time frame, especially the Pacific Northwest there into portions of Northern California as well, getting across the southeast and up the East Coast, still hanging on with that El Nino storm track. So more heavy rains here and severe weather will be a concern going into late March potentially. And looking at this here as well, the cold side of these storms, it is still March after all, and we could be seeing some snowfall on the northern side of the track of these low pressure systems up here across the Rockies, the northern high plains, the upper Midwest here into interior New England, especially up there into southern and southeastern Canada. We'll be keeping an eye on that towards late March. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Please stay safe out there with all the severe weather happening over the next few days. Make sure to download a radar app, whether it's Radar Omega or any other radar app, to keep up to date with any severe watches, warnings, tornado watches and warnings, or have a NOAA weather radio. Definitely helps out to get the alerts out to you when severe weather does strike. Also, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, especially if you like detailed weather breakdowns across North America. We'll be here throughout the year. Also, make sure to press the like button down below. It helps to get all of this information passed along to more and more people. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday out there.